What is up, Internet Infantry? Sammy Sinister here, keeping it down for the Coco crew, coming back to you again with some more Lucha Underground. Man, I'm so excited to talk about this. I hope y'all are as excited to hear me talk about it as I am to talk about it. Let's get a couple things out of the way. This is part 1 of Ultima Lucha Dos. So that's Ultima Lucha Dos, part 1, The Confusion. I understand it's a little weird. I really would have broken this up into only 2 parts instead of 3 parts, but I'll take it. It ended up working really, really well for tonight. I mean, tonight was absolutely fantastic. It was fucking amazing. Everything was on point. I am going to nitpick a little bit, so bear with me. I am going to talk about a couple of negative things, but some things that I absolutely love tonight. Let's go ahead and start off. Big win. Win, loss, top. Big win, dude. If you didn't love this, then you're awesome. I told everyone for the last month or so, last 3-4 episodes, everything was just kind of a filler. It's just going to kind of give you a status quo, help you along until you get to whatever it is that Ultima Lucha is going to be. And it absolutely delivered with part 1. This was fucking awesome. It was fucking incredible. Just then little things before we get into the particulars. Lucha Underground has the best commentary in wrestling right now. Matt Striker and Vampiro are incredible. End of story. And it's a little tiny thing that Vampiro does that I love is whenever somebody is getting pinned, he'll go into these made-up techniques, or technicalities, I guess you would call them, for why that pin is more effective, or this pin is less effective. He's putting pressure here so they can't breathe. That makes it harder to kick out. And that's awesome. That makes it more believable when somebody doesn't kick out, and when they do kick out, you go, damn, they kicked out of that? That was really, really tough. It's such as a little thing that helps everything else along so much. Starting things off here, this entire episode was the entire 4 opportunities, or whatever, the 4 unique opportunities. It was a little goofy name, but this was all I was going to be. It wasn't structured how I thought it was going to be. It was a tournament, so it was one match, winner of both ends gets the unique opportunity. So the first match for the unique opportunity was the Mac versus Cage, and this was the best match of the night, bar none. This was absolutely incredible. These 2 guys can tell a story. They can work. They took some crazy bumps, only one of which that I truly thought was dangerous. And that is, man, they sold everything like $1 million. Some really big highlights from this match. The match starts off, and you're ready to go out, and then Dario Cueto, of course, comes out, and he interrupts because he's the best. He's El Jefe. He comes out. Y'all kicked off Ultima Lucha last year, and that was probably my favorite match of the night, which is some really big praise. Made up, obviously, but it's still really, really great. He then says, that was a great match, guys. How about we do it again? This is a Falls Count Anywhere match. And I was like, fuck yes, that is awesome. That's going to make this even better. But usually I'm not for gimmick stuff, but this is Lucha, and it's Lucha Underground, so you're going to get some gimmicky stuff. So the match starts off, and fucking Cage does a lion salt. A good lion salt. As much as I love Pentagon Jr., and you guys all know by now, Pentagon Jr. is my absolute favorite luchador in the world. He's in my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time, and he's by far my absolute favorite on Lucha Underground. But if I had to pick one person from Lucha Underground to go to WWE, it's Brian Cage. He's everything they want. He's big. He's strong. He's charismatic. Except he can really, really work, unlike a lot of big muscly guys. Vince should be looking at Brian Cage and just whack it off as hard as he can. The only spot that I thought was a little scary was the bleacher shot that Cage gave to the Mac. That was a little scary, but it was still awesome. And he sold it like $1 million, and I'm sure he was completely fine the entire time, and Cage took care of him. It's still just a little scary for me. Of course, he throws in the Dario's office, and I think this is only the second, maybe third time that during a taping and not a backstage segment, we got to see the inside of Dario's office. Fucking Mac pulls out a guitar from underneath the ring and El Kabong's Cage, which is, oh god, it was so fucking great. It was awesome. Then pinatas. Talk about getting the short end of the fucking stick. Cage opens up his pinata, candy, and we're upset that it's candy. Everywhere a fat kid just cried. Cage opens up his pinata, he gets a wrench which I guess is what you get traditionally in Mexico. Like, fuck your candy, here's work. Go get on the fucking fields, guys. This match just never slowed down. It was classic Lucha in that regard. It never slowed down. Just kept going. It was from the time it started to the time the bell rang again. Heart pound. Like, after this match, I felt like I needed to take a nap. It was that. I was like, Jesus God, I'm tired. So good. Getting towards the end, the Mac, he goes and he's going to jump on Cage. He puts him on a table. Mac goes around and does a beautiful frog splash from the crowd onto the table. It was awesome. In the end, the Mac gets the 1, 2, 3. Your winner is the Mac, which this throws me off a little bit going into what the unique opportunity was. I figured it was going to be a spot for the Lucha World Cup, which I believe Brian Cage was on. So I had Brian Cage to win this whole kit caboodle, and he did not. So far, obviously, I know I watched it. If you haven't watched it yet, we don't know what the unique opportunity is yet. I think they did that on purpose, and this was really, really smart. We get into the second match, Tejano versus Son of Havoc. I would give this match a B-. It was really good. They had some great spots, and Tejano is a great big dude, and he didn't shine in much in this match as I really wanted to. I really like Son of Havoc, but all his matches are just a little too similar. Now, this match starts off about the same. Before it comes out, Dario Cueto comes out. He interrupts everybody. He tells them, they just had a really good match. I really like violence, and when I think of a cowboy and I think of a biker, I think of bars. So this is a bar fight. So there's stools and beer and bottles and all kinds of stuff set up all over. And they just make use of these. Not quite as good as the Falls Count Anywhere match. And honestly, this match came off a little too gimmicky for me. Even by Lucha and Lucha Underground standards, a little more than I would have liked. But it was still fantastic. They worked great. Some absolutely fantastic spots. They go back and forth. Tejano goes through a bar at one point in time, and it genuinely looked like it hurt. Son of Havoc gets into the ring, smashes up a bunch of bottles, tosses Tejano onto him, curb stomps him onto him, rolls him up, 1, 2, 3, Son of Havoc's your winner. So, after the first two matches, we've got the Mac, the winner, going up against Son of Havoc, the winner, in the third and final match of this unique opportunity. So, match starts off, they're both out there. They're both already a little beaten, they're both broken. Commentary builds that up, how they're breathing hard, how they look rough, and God, their commentary is absolutely fantastic. Dario Cueto, for a third time, he's going to come out, and he addresses everybody. It's like, if you want to win this, then you got to prove to me, because the unique opportunity is so good and so fucking crazy that you're going to have to earn it. So this is a Falls Count Anywhere match. Sweet. I'm completely cool with that. I'm kind of glad they didn't go with an even crazier gimmick, like a death match. Because if you did a death match, presumably next week when we get to the Mil Muertes versus King Cuerno match, they would take away from their death match. So that was a really smart move on their half. Starts off and they shake hands, which I really, really like. This is two of the most popular guys in the ring, Lucha Underground. You've got the Mac, you've got Son of Havoc, and people love these guys. They're going to shake hands, and that's how you tell a good babyface versus babyface match. I love that. I dig it. A little clunky in the beginning. There's a funny shoulder check from the Mac onto Son of Havoc, and maybe it was the angle, maybe he botched it ever so slightly, but it didn't come across quite great. And again, it could have been that they were just tired. On my notes here, while I'm talking to you guys, just in the middle, do y'all remember when the Mac was just Big Rick's bitch and got beat up all the time? He is so much better than that big clunky one-eyed fuck. And he is just, man, he has had a hell of a year this year. Son of Havoc gets up to go for the moonsault, presumably for the win. Mac has a great counter for it. They keep going back and forth. No crazy awesome spots like the first two matches. And honestly, this was probably the tertiary of the three matches, which isn't a problem. They're both tired, and the first two matches were so good, you really couldn't follow them up that well. In the end, Son of Havoc gets the moonsault, gets the win, 1, 2, 3. Son of Havoc is the winner of the unique opportunities. We go to break, which is just smart in their own half again, because now we have to wait an extra few minutes to find out what the fuck this unique opportunity is. The writers at Lucha Underground are so goddamn brilliant. Just little things like this that make it work so much better. So we come back from the break, and in the ring is Son of Havoc Black Lotus and Dario Cueto. Dario Cueto got his tux, looking smooth as a motherfucker. God, he's the best fucking villain on TV. Not in wrestling, not on El Rey, not in... He is the best villain maybe on TV right now. So he tells him, here's a unique opportunity. Here's 2 briefcases. And that first briefcase is more money than you could ever imagine that you'll ever make in the next several years. $250,000 cash. You want it, you take it, you walk right out the door. It is yours. However, you could go for the other particular briefcase. And that briefcase has a contract where you can be in the main event at Ultima Lucha Trace for the Lucha Underground Championship. This is Lucha Underground trolling so hard. It's a briefcase. It has a contract in it. You know where this is going, guys. We don't even mean to make the comparison. Son of Havoc, he smacks up the mic. He puts it up and he goes, I don't care if there's $250 million in there. I want to be Lucha Underground champion. I'm taking the contract. Everyone, yeah, oh my God, I can't believe they're planning that far ahead. You know, he's got to stay healthy. Who's he going to go up against? Are they really going to plan it out for a year? But Dario Cueto, being the sick motherfucker that he is, and just the coolest bastard on the TV, goes, you didn't let me finish. Says, you got one more match. If you win the match, you get the contract. If you lose, your opponent, they get the $250,000. Who is it? Who could it be? I'm sitting there wondering. I'm genuinely, like, I'm intrigued. I'm sitting there watching this with my roommate. Who could it be? Who could it be? Famous B comes out. Okay. Somebody with a manager. It's like, I got somebody new. Somebody better. Somebody already famous. Who could it be? Who could it be? And out comes Dr. Wagner Jr. Now, I was a little lackluster about this. And forgive me, Ronnie Sims, or everybody else that's a big Lucha fan. I don't know who Dr. Wagner is. I know, stupid gringo, moon-tanned motherfucker, what does he know about goddamn Lucha? Sorry, guys, I genuinely don't know who this is. But the announce team did a really good job of building up who he is. Vampiro told a couple stories about him. So you get that this is a bad motherfucker, and he is nobody to be trifled with. Match starts. It's really short. There's not much time left in the program. There's a couple hope spots from Son of Havoc, but we all know that it's too good to be true. Dr. Wagner gets the roll up. 1, 2, 3. He wins $250,000 for him and Famous B. Show goes out on a low note, which is very similar to how last year's ended. Every bad outcome that could have happened from Ultima Lucha 1 happened. The villains win. So this year we have to have some good guys win. And it was really smart of them to have Son of Havoc look like he was going to win and snatch it away from us. But now we've got to have some good guys win. You know, you can't be hopeless all the time without giving us a little bit of hope. There's a little bit of hope to really hold on to. So that's it, guys. That's Lucha Underground Ultima Lucha Dos Part 1. The ballfuckery. I'm running out of ideas, guys. Y'all are going to have to send me some. So again, to reiterate, if you want to ask me questions, put them down in the comments below. I will read as many as I can. Or better yet, hit us up on ProWrestling.me. I'm Sammy Sinister on there. Send me your messages there. I will answer them on this next one. I know I have not answered any here because I still haven't put up the first video because I'm really, really slow and I'm still learning how to edit things. So bear with me. The July 1st episode of Lucha Underground I'm going to put up. So just bear with me. It's coming. I'm going to put it up. It's just going to take me a little while because I'm teaching myself how to edit. Lastly, check us out at Facebook at KocoSports. Check us out at Twitter on KocoSports. Hit us up on ProWrestling.me. This is Sammy Sinister. Keeping it real, guys. Y'all take care.